fill in some of the eye color. My eyes are kind of blue and yellow and green and lots of different colors, but in this photo they just look kind of dark gray. I can go through and enhance that later if I want, but for now I'm just gonna fill it in like that. Add some life to the eyes there by putting in some of that purple. And then let's make a new layer. Let's call it tint 2. The reason why I do these different layers, if I decided I didn't like this tint that we put down, I could always just change that and then I don't have to repaint anything else. So they're kind of like safety layers, I guess. So we got the tint 2. Let's try using some of this yellow in here. We'll make it a multiply blend mode again. And just look through your photo, and anywhere you think you see yellow tones, put in some yellow. And I'm kind of, again, looking at my photo and trying to ignore every other color in it except for that yellow, and anywhere I see that yellow I'm trying to match up on my painting. And we could do the same thing with like pink. There's usually a lot of pink around the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And this is where I'm just going to kind of start to get creative with the colors too. Like if I decide I don't want it to be exactly like it is in the painting and I want to enhance it, that's where I'm going to do it. We need some blue or some purple or something in here too. That would look pretty good. Okay, so this tinting is obviously too strong, so I'm going to back it down a little. Let's do the same thing with the layer underneath. We get something that we want. That's a good balance. And we can keep refining these too as we go along to get them looking the way we want. Eventually we'll merge all these layers together into a single layer, and then we'll do a lot of smudging and blending, and still got a ways to go here. Let's do a new layer. So for our light area, let's keep using our airbrush, and we'll sample using Alt on our keyboard one of these lighter areas on our head. And we'll pick a lighter skin color here. Now we'll go through and we'll start picking out where the highlighted areas are. So again, I'm looking at my photo and I'm trying to only paint in these areas, and I'm also kind of trying to do it logically. Like I'm trying to think about what these forms are naturally. Obviously the nose sticks out more, and then the nostrils kind of stick out a little bit. Sometimes you're surprised at where some of these highlights are. They're not where you think they would be based, by looking at your photo. Like I always think about under the lips as a kind of a shadow area, but sometimes there's a highlight under there. It depends on where the light's coming from. And we could even start putting some highlights on the hair too. A lot of the hair color in this case, since my hair is dark, it's just reflecting what's around it, which is this background color. So if you made your background color like green or something, you would want to put some green in your hair. Like over here there's kind of this little purplish tint that I threw in. I'll throw in some of that over here. It's pretty subtle, like you probably won't really notice it, but it'll really make the hair come together. Something like that. Now I think it's pretty safe at this point to maybe start blending some of this stuff together. So let's do layers, drop all. That'll flatten everything down to one layer. Do a little bit of blending here with the diffuse blur blender. And we want to make sure that we keep areas of sharp contrast that need to be kept. So you need to start looking at sharp and soft contrast. What I mean by sharp is like, the crease of the lips is going to be sharp, but this crease in the side of my mouth isn't going to be as sharp. It's going to be smooth, so I need to smooth it appropriately. So don't overblend stuff. Like if I overblend this, it goes away. It's not there anymore. So I need to have the right amount of blending going on here. And again, I'm using my reference photo for that. We can sharpen some of these edges too after we make them, and we'll be doing that. So don't worry about it too much if you can't get it perfect. See, like this doesn't need to be that dark, so in this case I am going to overblend it to where it goes away because it just needs to be subtle, this crease here. And same thing with my chin crease, that doesn't need to be so dark. As I mentioned, the lips do need to be pretty tight. The nostrils are pretty sharp too, so don't want to blend them too much. Sharpest areas are usually the eyes, the nostrils, and the lips, and then parts of the ears. Everything else is generally pretty smooth. Blend some of the hair here. Sometimes it's good to blend in the direction that the hair is flowing, like I'm doing it kind of radially like this, so that it looks like the hairs are individually coming out of my scalp. I'm seeing now that this sideburn needs to be darker, so I'm going to go in and we'll go back to blending. Blend some of this shirt so it's not such a hard edge. Nostrils are a little too dark, so I'm going to sample one of these lighter colors here, and I'm going to lighten them just a little bit with the airbrush. We'll zoom out and see how we're looking. It's looking better.